every week. Hell of a player, great football player, strong, has a motor, physical, plays hard every down. Just a really, really good football player. So it'll be a tough task, but we're excited to have the opportunity to play against a team like this.
I want to ask you about Chris Godwin, just how he's rounded back into kind of old Godwin form, coming back from the knee. I think he's had at least 6 catches in 9 straight games. Just how steady he's been now coming back for you.
I just remember where he was at before he got hurt. It seemed like he was catching like 15 of them a game. You know, him and Tom was in a good spot. And I don't even think it's been a year yet since the actual day where he got hurt. So the fact that he's even out there and been out there for us just says how good a football player and what type of guy how he approached this offseason. And we know it's only going to get better. We know he's only going to get better with time. The more he can be out there, you see it almost every day. I see a little bit more coming every day. So I'm happy for him, happy that all the hard work paid off.
Well, I know that it's a different team this year versus last year, but I know last year when you guys went up tempo, you had some good results with it, and then this past game, you guys were able to do that, in the final 5 minutes of the game. What's it going to take for this team to be able to turn to tempo the way they have in the past to kind of get a jump on teams?
Well, I don't know if we need it every week, right? We've done it some early in the year. We've done it some. We've always been good at it when we need it. Like at the end of games, end of half situations, we've always been really good at it. So you don't know how much you'll need it, week in and week out. But it's good to have it there. It's good to have it there. It's good with the players we have, with the quarterback that we have. It's good that anytime you can go up tempo and have opportunities to finish games the way we've had opportunities to finish games. So it's good. It's good that it's been good for us pretty much all year, especially in the half, in the games.
Is it harder to do that when you don't have consistently the same pieces every single week working together?
That's what.
You finally have some healthy receivers.
Yeah, we're healthy, so you can do a little more of it. And early in the year, we tried some, but we was unhealthy up front. So we had young guys in there, so you don't want to put them in that position as much as if we would have liked to have done it early in the year. But it's something that we know we can lean on if needed. We just hopefully keep working for us when we need it in those end-of-half, end-of-game situations.
How effective can that be in the red zone at any point in the game?
Oh, we'll run it anywhere. We'll run, as you've seen, we run it backed up, red zone, don't matter.
You said that you've had the hurry up when you've needed it. Have you felt like you've only needed it at the end of half so far this season?
No, we did some early in the year. If you look at it, we did a lot of it really early in the year. But the tempo, the way they played, that was a lot of those 50-throw games, right? A lot of those 50-throw games where everybody wanted us to run the ball a little more. So when it works, it works. When it don't work, it kind of puts your defense at a disadvantage because you tend to have a little bit more punts. But when it is working and executing at a high level, it's tough on defenses.
In the days of the K-gun Buffalo Bills, is that something that would not work in this day and age of the NFL?
Oh, I believe it will. I believe this game comes down to scoring. I know a lot of you guys look, analytics and look at a lot of those things. This game comes down to score. That's the one thing that's 100% true. You score more points than the other team, you win the ball game every single time. Nobody has never lost scoring more points than the other team. There's a lot of numbers out there that can seem somewhat factual, but it comes down really the only number that's guaranteed in any analytics is that you score more points than the other team, you win. So I think any offense could work as long as you can score points doing it.
So no huddle, full game, could work?
Could. I ain't saying that we would do it, but I said it could. It could.
Byron, you won the game, and that's the goal every week, right? One more point, and that's what you got.
Mm-hmm.
But, those 2 touchdowns came in 2-minute drives, Tom doing what Tom has done better than any quarterback on earth. Before that, other than the first drive, which was 16 plays, and was also, you got 3 points. If it's about points, did you see anything until the final 5 minutes of the game that gave you reason to think that you've gotten better?
Well, yes. I preach every week, right? We all say the game come down to the last possession, and when it does and you find a way to win it, you win the game, you get out the stadium, you go home. We'd have loved to have pulled that off in Cleveland. Right, regardless of score, right? This team played New Orleans the week before, won 13-0, with guys that with smart guys on their side of the ball too, and on their team. So it's the NFL, man. This is not fantasy football. This game's about winning football games all the time. And if you can find a way to win them, that's all that really matters.
It seems like the team is consistently finding themselves in second and long, third and long. Isn't that play sequencing is leading to any predictability? You guys are seeing a lot of loaded boxes on first down, and then they're bringing rushers and playing back in coverage on second and third down. Do you think play sequencing has anything to do with that?
We don't think so, but you probably have to ask the other team's defensive coaches or anything if they have. But we don't feel as though.
Byron, you mentioned earlier starting the year with a younger offensive line and having to adjust for that. You've also had some injuries on the line throughout the year. How much does that affect play calling, not having the continuity you want on the offensive line and maybe staying away from certain plays because of groupings?
Well, play calling is always tell you guys about the 11 guys that's out there in the huddle at the time. I really mean that when I say that. Obviously, there's things you would like to do every week, but you got to do what's according to the 11 guys in the huddle. And I don't think people understand how many guys, the guys that were supposed to start got hurt. And then we bring in, Luke get hurt. So we got down the line in our offensive line group, and anytime you do that, that always makes it difficult. But what I like about it, like I said you guys early, the reps that we got early with our young guys, it's going to help us as we get deeper into this season. Having Wells here, who's been with us a while, who's played in football games for us, when he get reps, that helps us. That helps us as we get down the line, as you get into December football, which we in. I believe that helps you anytime in any group, offensive line, wide receiver group. When you get young guys gain reps and they able to carry over and get throughout the year getting into games, I think that's always helpful for any group. Obviously, you don't want to get to that point, but when you do, I think you benefit from it more at the end of the year than you do when it's first happening at the beginning.
How did Wells play in your assessment?
I mean, he's played well. I mean, to go against that group, and but I think we had one sack. We'll take it.
Can you talk about Nick Leverett stepping in after Luke got hurt and how he's played, and then just Cade Otton and his ability to is he the backup number one tight end on this team?
Well, he's the starter, but we play multiple two guys out there. It depends on what personnel package we really got in. I tell you guys about Cole and Cade. They fresh. I mean, they're rookies, but the reps are helping them. I'm watching these guys get better at the little things at a difficult position. I mean, tight ends in this league, they got to deal with the guys. They're right next to the guys that we talking about, the Bosas of the world, the Cam Jordans of the world, the Garrett's of the world. They are right next to them guys, and they got to be able to be good in the run game and in the pass game. So to see the improvement that they're getting, especially from the reps that they're getting, is a good thing for us.
We're used to seeing Donovan Smith lock down the best rushers in the league every week in, week out, and he's goes against the greatest every week. But in the second half of the season anyway, a lot of sacks given up, a lot of penalties. One took a touchdown off the board, could have been the game for you. We know he got hurt in the Dallas game. Is it fair or unfair to say, look, he's battling through some stuff and doing the best he can, or he just needs to play better regardless?
Well, he knows and we know this is not a fair business, right? What we in is fair, right? It's all depends selective. So he understands that. Obviously, we just talk to him a lot about technique. Hey, let's make sure we're technique sound. Let's make sure we're aware of what's happening, how we're getting beat. And like I tell you, with the group that we have and the way that they approach it, once they're given this information, how they work on their game to get improvement, I just love this group as it pertains to that, as us getting better. So it's our job to make sure he's aware of what we need to do, and from a technique and assignment standpoint, it's his job to work on it and to get better, and that's what he's doing. We understand it. Like I said, it's tough guys, facing some tough guys in this league, right? He ain't the only one that's getting holding calls at that position, right? That's just part of it, but we're trying to coach through it and try to get better at it.
Byron, aside from scoring points, which would be the obvious answer, if you had a wish list and it was like, hey, this one thing is top of my list.
Just get one wish?
Yeah, you only get
I got
one.
a couple I need.
If you had one thing that you could emphasize, like, I want this better on offense, like, what would that area be?
I just think it's scoring. I know you guys think I'm crazy. We go in here, we have games where we go 6 drives and punt. I think we're closer than what people think. Obviously, we're doing something well enough to win football games, right? This is the National Football League. There's no pushovers. Carolina, Pittsburgh, all of them have shown us that, right? We've been on the opposite end of it, so there's no such thing as pushovers. So in this league's about winning. It's only about winning in this league. It's a lot that go on, a lot of narratives that happen, but this game's about winning. So we're trying to do whatever we can to win. And as an offensive coordinator, as the offensive coach, I know the one thing that guarantees the win every week is scoring one more point than the other team, even when it's one more point. Like last week, 17-16. Don't matter the score. Find ways to win ball games. And if you can do that enough in ball games, you learn how to win tough games. You learn how to win 17-16 games. I don't know how good we were in the past at winning those type games. I think we're better at finding ways to win those type of games because the situations we've been in, good and bad. So I think we can learn from them, move forward from them, and I think all these situations has gotten us and made us a better ball club.
Anything else? Thank you.
Right.
I'll in shortly.
Guys.
Busy birthday month for you, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Birthday to Betty.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I imagine that by the time you got home, Vivi was already in bed, but what was her reaction to you winning that game after she told you, I
Yeah.
love you, Daddy?
Yeah, she was worried. She was sleeping, so I rolled over in the morning and she asked. So she was very happy. It's good to get her a win.
Tom, much has made it been how you guys have been effective in the no huddle, and we've seen the Rams game and obviously the Saints game. What's your feeling about the no huddle and how much usage you would be comfortable with throughout the entire game?
Yeah, it's a great tool. I mean, I've done it quite a bit over, my career. Everyone likes to do it when it works, and sometimes we tried it hasn't worked, and execution is really important to making it work. I think, changing personnel grouping's good. I think tempo's good. There's a lot of different aspects you can use to try to create some softness in the defense. So, yeah, it's a good tool for us for sure. I mean, I hope we can always, we're trying to score every time we take the field. It's whether we go fast or slow, we just got to execute well. We got to throw the ball well. We got to catch it. We got to block. We got to run, and we got to do all the things and take score points.
Is it something that has to be done, for lack of a better term, out of moderation?
I mean, I think it's in terms of what do you mean?
Hurry up.
I mean, you can't run it
All the
whole
time?
game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's tough. I think that's tough. Yeah, for a number of reasons. It's like blitzing's good, but should you blitz every play? No, I don't know. Now that they start to expect to blitz, I'm sure they'll. So, I mean, you'd like to be able to do everything. I mean, you'd like to, when you use it, you like to do it well. When you change personnel groupings, you'd like to do that well. When you run the ball, you'd like to do that well. I think all those things come down to the same thing, and I know we've talked about that, for weeks now. So just, I think our job as players is to execute whatever the situation is, whatever, to start the game, we got to start it well. We got to finish the halves well. We got to be well on third down. We got to do well in the red area. We got to do well taking care of the football. We got to do well making people miss. We got to, all those things add up. So obviously when you play good teams and defenses, they're going to challenge those things too. So it's not always going to go great. So you just got to keep playing as hard as you can, and hopefully after 60 minutes, you have enough points to win the game.
Tom, you told this story many times about growing up in the Bay Area.
Yep.
This is only the second time that you've gone home to play.
Yeah.
Just indulge us one more time, if you wouldn't mind, the experiences at Candlestick, the championship, and just what it means to you to go home and have everyone there able to see you.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. I've never, for as long as I've played, to have one experience there, and it was a great one too. We played out there. It was a rainy day. It was 2016. We had a really good football team, and had a lot of friends and family in the crowd. I ran out for pregame warm-up, and I remember Chip Kelly coming over to me, and he was like, "Damn, it's a home game for you," and it really was. And there was a lot of great. I think I always consider myself a California kid, and grew up obviously loving Joe Montana and Steve Young, and going to the 49er games. That's where I fell in love with football, and we'd sit up there in the nosebleeds, and we had 4 tickets. My mom and dad would go. I would usually go, and then one of my sisters would go. And, I was lucky to grow up in the Bay Area at that time. It was just a great time. There was so many great players, a great era of football. And I loved the 49ers. I loved them through college. And then when they skipped over me 6 times, I started hating the 49ers. And that's just the way it went down. And never got a chance to go out there. I was supposed to go out there in 2008. And we had it all set up. We were talking all off season. My first time going out there, and then tore my ACL in week 1. So I had to wait another 8 years. I went to the new stadium, so I never even got to play in Candlestick. And then had the one experience, which was really fun, and it was just great after the game. It was nice for my parents not to have to travel and go to a game for once. So it's nice to go to them. So I'll have a great group of family and friends there that are all supportive. People from growing up in the neighborhood. My parents still live on Portola Drive in San Mateo, same house I grew up in. And, I was just a lucky kid growing up in the Bay Area. It was a great place to grow up, and loved playing football. In high school at Sarah, they're actually playing for the state championship, I think this weekend. Patrick Walsh has done an incredible job. He was a high school running back at De La Salle, which my uncle was a principal at, and they were hugely successful in NorCal for many, many years. And Patrick was a great running back, then became the head coach at Sarah, and they're doing great. And then went to Michigan, and obviously went home whenever I could. And then went further away to Boston, so kept going further and further away from California. Came here, still didn't make it any closer. So my parents have certainly racked up a lot of frequent flyer miles over the years, but it's been a magical experience. It'd be great to go home and see a lot of people that I probably haven't seen in a long time, my aunts, my uncles, and try to go win a football game.
Tom, when you speak about magical experiences, 44 career comebacks in the fourth quarter. For you personally, do games like Monday night, do you amaze yourself, or have you just done it so many times that you just kind of expect it and it's not as wow to you as it maybe is to other people?
I think they're all great in different ways, you know. And I think when you lose, you take it to heart. When you win, man, you celebrate it. And you know, some games, would I rather win by 3 touchdowns? Absolutely. But if we're not going to win by 3 touchdowns, I mean, that's a great way to win a game because, you know, y'all remember that game for the rest of my life. For, you know, and for all the guys on the team that experienced that, all the coaches, you know, there was a great celebration in the locker room. We really enjoyed it. And, you know, you realize, look, you could be down and it could look bad and you just keep fighting your tail off and you know, it's never over and you just got to keep finding a way. And defense made so many great plays, a lot of clutch plays. Offensive players made so many great plays, and that's what it takes. And we just got to build on it. We got to get positive momentum. We got to get you know, a lot of confidence and just keep building on it week after week. We obviously know we can do that. There's a lot of other things that we can do a better job of too, and that's what we go out there every day and try to practice at it. And trying to figure out ways to continue to move people around to get us in spots to succeed. So that's what football is ultimately about.
What are some of your fondest memories from growing up in the Bay Area that have kind of shaped you today? Because I talked to a lot of your childhood friends, and you know they've got stories. They all seem to want to talk about that dot drill that you had set up at your house, and some of those pickup basketball games. And,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. One of your, I think it was it Matt Buzzle who said that you ran like you had a piano on your back?
I still do. Yeah, Buzz was a great player in high school, and I had so many friends growing up there. And Sarah was a great baseball school, and I loved baseball. I started playing football and fell in love with football because of the camaraderie of it all. And I was always the kid that was trying to prove myself to everyone. And you know, there was one thing in sports that I was really good in. Basically, a lot of sports. I was really good in baseball. Threw the ball well. I hit the ball really well. I was really good in golf. I was good in any sport I was really good at. I'm good in ping pong. I'm good in darts. I just can't run. And I can't jump. So running and jumping are a problem. So I always tried to work hard at those things. You know, so I put the dot drills down because those would help move my feet faster. And, you know, that really helped me, I think, get into college. And then I kept working at it, and I still work at it. I was out there working on my running today. You know, and Griff's going, man, you got to move faster than that, man. You're just not moving as quick today, you know, which is, I can't afford to be, you know, 80% of my quickness because that's really slow. I got to be 100% of my slowness, which gives me at least a fighting chance. So, yeah, I just keep working. I worked at it when I was in high school. I woke up every day at 6 o'clock, and I tell my kids, man, I wasn't a great student. You know, I had no interest in school. You know, I guess
you ran for class president your freshman year?
Yeah, I lost that. I wouldn't have been good at that. I was good in sports, and I found a good profession for it. So lucky to find a lot of people in my life that supported me in that journey, and parents were at the top of the list. Sisters motivated me. You know, I was always cheering them on, you know, up at Beresford Park and Hillsdale High School, and you know, we were just a kid growing up like all of us were, and trying to have some fun. And here I am, many years later, and going back and gonna try to go home and give people what they want. So that's what we'll try to do.
Tom, with that being said, with all that, like seeing everybody, how much you loved it, 49ers fan and all that, but where you guys
Well, not a 49er fan anymore. Yeah, that's long gone.
But how big this game is to be able to put those emotions away and where you guys are right now?
Yeah, I put those emotions away too. You know, I think my emotion is to do everything I can to help us win the game. And I know they know that's what they expect of me. They know they're, we're a competitive team, and we haven't had our best moments this year all the time, but you know, we're going to go out there and we're going to try to play our best football this year, which it's what it's going to take because we're playing a great football team, best defense in the league, some incredible players in Bosa, Warner. Got a lot of respect for those guys. They do a lot of things well, really well coached. Kyle's a hell of a coach. D'Amico Ryan's a great coach. I played against him as a player. He was a great player. He's turning into be a great coach. So they do a lot of things well. It's going to be a huge challenge for us. They run to the ball. They pursue. They tackle. They hit. They got a great group of defensive players, and there's a reason why they played very well, especially on defense. So we got our work cut out for us. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Tom.